I'm the danger.
7.62 by 54 round would just explode the... Afternoon, everybody. This is Anthony from Airsoft, and I got my battle buddies,
Matthew,
Stu,
and this is episode 31 of Ask Amped, where we take your questions that you submit below down in the doobly-doo or on Facebook, wherever we post this shit, and we answer them honestly. Today we were overlooking downtown Pittsburgh because the weather was nice.
Woo! Woo! The city.
So anyways, we're gonna do it. Stop playing. Let's go.
Okay. Here, you play with the Milsim West Tourniquet.
Milsim West Tourniquet Pro level.
Confirmed, safe.
I tried to choke myself with it. It didn't work.
It's not stealthy enough. What's this red tab for?
I don't know.
For medicalness.
All right, we got Jason Bolanos. You answered my question on my hop-up in the last video, but I've done everything to make sure it was running correctly. You said I could send it to you guys. How much would that cost for labor and replacing parts, blah, blah, blah?
It would be the cost of parts and then $35 an hour.
Yeah.
Yep.
Make sure you email us. Get a tech number first. Don't just send it in.
Yeah.
So we confirm we have time to get it done. Like, because we don't, people send us their guns all the time, and they don't ask us first, and they show up, and we don't know who they are. Half the time, people don't put return addresses, their names, phone numbers,
it's a
emails.
circus.
It's a circus.
It really is.
Contact us first, and then what we can do is we can make sure, hey, when do you need it done by? We can get it done by that, and we'll have it shipped back to you.
Yeah.
Also, give us your blood type, your birthday, if you're comfortable the last 4 of your social security, just so we know who it is.
Divorced, single, married.
Yeah. How many
children,
pets you have?
Pets.
Yep. Goldfish don't count.
Blood type. Did we say blood type?
Yeah.
Okay. We should be good.
Selected major.
Yeah. If you're college educated.
I'm gonna eat my thing.
It's not that important.
It's not important, actually.
Taking hors d'oeuvres.
It's overpriced.
There you go. I thought my college was a waste of money, personally.
You're doing this right now.
I'm just letting everybody know. It's just what it was. But at least it's almost paid off, so I don't
Just
really care.
go.
Christopher Drusen. Oh, it's
Oh,
that
you're
bro.
ready.
It's that bro from fucking... Okay, get ready for this. All right. Well, shit. Thanks for taking time to answer my questions. I just got re-enlisted in the Danish Army's Armored Leopard 2 Regiment, a.k.a.
Damn.
Jadeski Dragon Regiment. Jesus
Somebody's
Christ.
gonna get laid.
The trip is on. Hashtag the trip is real. We was thinking, as you said, go do airsoft operator stuff when in the area or waiting. So if there is ops going on in the summertime, we will drive from state to state and try them out. But it's mostly to go airsoft in a foreign country because our team is fairly new and this could be a good bonding trip. We did discuss starting out going to the amp store in person and just buy the shit out of our budget. We're talking about having like $15,000 saved up for the trip for spending money. So there could be money to go buy a gun, mags, and BBs. Hashtag buy an SMP in America. As I understand, by prices, it's cheaper. It would be cheaper, actually, to buy it than ship it to you. That's actually very true.
Yeah.
Also, to send it to Denmark after the adventure time is done.
Yeah.
So do you guys have all that is needed to make a cool-looking SMP build in-house, or should we pre-order beforehand? And I'm taking Matt up on the burger invite. Hashtag Viking stuff all over America. Hashtag Vikings with automatic rifles. Hashtag Predator sounds. Hashtag cream-filled banana pants. Hashtag another burger. Jeez. Yes, we can do it in person.
We'll take you to Burgatory.
We'll take you to Burgatory if you're here. You can pre-order your stuff if you want. It's up to you, man.
Unless you need something really out there and not in the market, we usually have everything people want to pimp their rifles. We have pretty much every rail out there.
Yeah.
Any
Unless
internal
or we can get it.
Yeah.
Unless it's something kind of heinous like a grenade launcher or something like that, you're pretty much set.
Yeah. We try.
Yep.
Come on, Stuart.
Pretty good.
Before your arm falls off.
Come on, Stuart, do this. Ramirez.
Ask the question.
All right.
Defend the Burger Town.
Potat.
Put this really unrealistic turret somewhere.
In Potat,
Okay.
crouching Putin.
Damn it. Big Easy Airsoft says, Dear Amped, thanks for answering my last question. I want to get into the world of HPA, and my question is, what tank/PSI setting did you use at Shelby? I was thinking about a 62 3000 tank, but people have been telling me that I should get something bigger. P.S. The Blackhawk Serpa I bought from you guys at Shelby is amazing. And bravo, team for life. Maybe
that's
next
green.
time you guys
No,
could
Bravo's
give Bravo
multicam.
Oh, is it? Yeah. No, my bad, sorry.
Pronunciate over us.
I didn't like getting shot by the Tipman and Crytek LMG.
Our bad.
Don't get in front of us.
Sucks to suck.
I think I actually do remember who you are, so it was good to meet you. God, that question is old, isn't it?
Yeah, that's pretty old.
Let's see
What do you ask
1
exactly?
week ago.
Oh, was it?
Yeah. I was thinking about a 62 3000 tank, but people have been telling me that I should get something bigger.
Depending on your setup, that's fine.
What did he say he's running? He didn't say
Nothing
what
yet.
gun.
He wants to
Nothing.
start.
He wants to get into the wonderful world
Okay.
of HPA.
62's not bad.
That's what I use.
Yeah.
With an S&P or a jack, that'd be fine.
You put a tight bore in, you're gonna have really good
Alright,
efficiency.
This is already getting slightly annoying.
Give it to me, you Potat.
I'm not on that Milsom Westlife just yet.
No, we know. Joseph Bam. Question came up on one of the local forums. Question was, if you could play Airsoft with one fictional character, who would you choose? Amped Airsoft, who would you choose? People were choosing Neo from The Matrix. Personally, I think he's overrated, and I would pick Goku from Dragon Ball.
Fucker wouldn't call
Also,
their hits.
wouldn't play it because
It wouldn't call their hits.
he would just fly around and shit.
Wouldn't call their hits. No.
I
Well,
would take... You know what? I'm going to go New Age. I'm going to take Chris Pratt from the new Jurassic Park movie. That would be hilarious because all the outtake videos is just him crotch thrusting and having
Okay.
a blast. So I'm just going to fire that one out there. I'm trying to think of like old people. Like I was going to say like Keanu Reeves from Point Break or something, but
That would be
fun.
fun.
He just shoots in
That'd
the
be
air.
fun.
He never shoots you.
the dudes from Payday.
What would you do?
You get ready for this.
He thought of this one.
Not Batman, but from College Humor,
Badman. I was gonna say that.
They're
Your
behind-
babies aren't hitting me.
I'm just making him sleepy.
You're not shooting.
They're tired
Your
because I'm
mag's
so
empty.
good.
Because I'm so good.
What? Your mag's empty.
Okay.
Or
They're just tired
No, no.
because I'm so good.
where are the
Hey.
drugs at?
¿Dónde están
I'm
los
re-
drogas?
¿Dónde está?
I'm Ray Romano.
Do I look like a cop to you?
¿Cómo está, Joker?
Okay.
What? So we all know you're Bruce Wayne. No, I'm hanging Clark.
You saying it because there's a dead
Alright,
figure?
You're saying
taking
there's a
him?
dead
You guys
character.
ever played Team Fortress?
You still gotta do your character.
Yeah,
This is
answer
me.
That's what I mean. You guys ever played Team Fortress?
Yeah.
Here's that
Fortress 2?
train.
Either the engineer or the heavy.
The engineer's pretty funny.
The doctor would be fun too if he could actually.
You're not gonna stop there.
I'm gonna turn that off.
No, what are you waiting for? Do it! Just
The loud part's gone. Sorry about that. Production value. Dude, he's got to answer a question. Hey, it's not your turn yet.
I already did.
I gotta
You
ask
didn't
my
pull one.
question.
Just because you answer one. No,
No,
you
you
already
just
pulled
hold on to it. That's yours.
yours next.
I didn't look at it. I didn't look at it.
Where's that giant one that has all the?
The Titmans? There's like 8 staples in it. That one. That's the Titman one.
All right. So
I'm gonna take a nap while you answer this.
I have the Titman stack. All right.
If
So
you guys don't remember, last video we started grouping similar questions together. So these all have something to do with the Titman.
So we're just gonna rapid fire them and make sure everybody gets their name out. So this one's from Jack24. Hey Amp, love the show. My question is, can I make a Titman more efficient with a new barrel? Keep up the work. Regards from Germany. You can make it a tiny bit more efficient with a tighter bore barrel, but the funny thing about it is hilariously efficient
On
on
semi,
semi-auto only. We calculated that with a 72 4500 tank only filled to about 4,000 psi, we were able to get about 47 mid caps out of it at around 100 rounds apiece. So you know 4,700 rounds.
And that's on average
That's pretty good.
1.5 joules, I think.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
about 1.5 joules. So
Hopefully this part doesn't suck as the train. Whatever.
yeah, you can make it more efficient, but it's already hilariously efficient to begin with.
have to tell you about the future.
The Ganja Turtle. Do you guys plan on doing any Pleb to Pro Titman M4 vids? Was thinking very much about getting one after. I might have just totally like messed up. Was very much thinking about getting one after seeing you guys loving the one you have, but very curious with all the work that seems to be needed. Keep up the good work, dudes. Well, that's probably going to be in the final Titman review, which is going to be part 3, which is going to be in another like month or so. Basically, it's going to be like after we literally just finish whooping the crap out of it. We're going to go through all the things that we've done to it, any like upgrade parts that we put into it, like exactly what ones we've tried and didn't try, with results, so that way you guys like know and then you can just come to that one at the end for like the conclusion of our thoughts on it.
Basically, at this point, the guys at Tittman have begged us to send our gun back to them because we beat it up so bad.
We're not doing that. I'm
Well-
just gonna keep breaking it until it's dead.
We met one of them at Homeland this past weekend, and we drowned the gun.
Oh yeah, that's a fun fact.
That's fun.
We took the Tittman and we put it in about 6 to 8 inches deep of water,
But yeah.
and then we just left it in there. We let the whole gun fill with water, then we picked it up and started shooting it.
Oh, and then they put it back in.
And then we
and
jumped
did it
on
again, and then jumped on it, and it's still fired.
It's still fired.
It's fine.
It's fine.
Well-
I think the zip ties are what allowed it to continue function after being jumped on.
Oh my god.
I think that if it would have been actually stuck together, it would have never worked.
Done that. But because zip ties, you could pull it apart just enough to let the tolerances breathe again
Yep.
before you shot it.
Yep. So
Maybe just make zip ties a standard feature on the zip.
yeah, maybe they should just come with them.
We'll sell them in the toolkit.
Yeah, we'll sell them in the
We'll
toolkit.
call it a
Two
maritime
giant zip ties.
adapter. We'll call it a maritime adapter kit.
Zip ties
We'll
and
call
everything.
it-
You
We'll
heard
call
it here first. No.
All right, so
Dev Crew adapter.
AM Crew, there was a poll in the Tittman owners group on which gun variant you would like to see next. My vote was for a riot shotgun such as the AA-12,
Murray did it.
but now just to think of the Tittman 870. Thoughts on that? What gun variant would you guys like to see come out of Tittman? I would like everyone in the room, whoever is behind the camera, to answer. Well, there's no one behind the camera today. Thanks for answering. Hashtag bring back Tailcat. Me personally, I would like them to use something that still uses M4 mags. So I would love to see a SCAR.
Yeah.
A SCAR or an ACR, something that's the same.
L85 would be kind of cool in my opinion.
That would be
It would be
fun.
hilariously stupid and hurt your face, but it would be awesome.
How about
I think everybody
AK?
wants the standard. They want the AK.
No,
I
I,
want an
already
AK
asked.
too.
I already asked. Maybe, I
Yeah.
probably shouldn't say this, but I already asked about AKs. They said they've been kind of throwing it around, but they didn't really give me anything on it. So.
because they're waiting to see how well this one does.
Yeah,
basically.
they're waiting to see the fallout on just how much the Tittman can actually handle and how adaptable.
So
it is.
honestly, it's completely on the fence for a V2M4 or a different variant. We have no idea.
I'll be honest right now. If
Yeah.
they made a Tittman AK CO2 mags, done, bought, sold.
It'd be sexy.
I would love for them to fucking make a SCAR, so that way you won't have to buy. They
Or
won't
if
have to
they did-
design a new mag.
Ooh, if only they did what GHK did and they outsourced the bodies for the GHK, HKs to LCT.
Yep.
So take Tittman, make a great BB Wars love baby.
Yeah, that would be fun.
That'd be awesome.
Let's go to the next one. Randall Moyer, Hamp, love the show. You guys do a great job. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Now, fanboy out of the way. Have you guys ever considered making a version of your amp line but for a higher PSI, like for the remote line that will work for the Tittman? I would like to get one of your amp lines for my Tittman, but I don't want to die. Yeah, see the amp. Yeah, our amp line is not rated to the pressure that the Tittman runs at. The Tittman runs at has the Tittman line that we use, and we recommend to everybody, if you're not using it, be careful. Is any steel braided line that can handle like 3,000 psi. It's just for safety purposes. People buy Chinese ones all the time. They get hit with a BB and pop, which sucks. Like, just get a steel braided line. Now, the thing with that steel braided line is that we hand assemble all of our lines for our Polar Stars and stuff. And since they run it at lower pressure, when we hand assemble them and do stuff like that, we don't need like industrial sized equipment to make them. So like we have specialized equipment to do it, but we don't have any like super industrial presses or anything like that. So could we do it? I don't know. We'd probably have to outsource it, which would drive the cost way up. And to be honest with you, I don't think we'd be competitive with the options that are already on the market.
Yeah, because the Tittman, as much as we love it, it's not that popular of a gun yet because it's only been around for 6 months.
6 to 8 months, yeah.
So there's just not that many out there as
Yeah.
opposed to like the Polar Star and the S&P, which we've made hundreds and hundreds of lines for. So,
but I'm even saying that so like we wouldn't have the manufacturing capability to keep the price low compared to the options that already exist for the Tittman.
Yeah.
Those lines that already exist from like Ninja and shit. We couldn't touch that cost.
Yeah.
We couldn't do it. So unless you guys really, really wanted to spend the premium money, you could ensure some hand-built quality and stuff like that. But like cost-wise, most people look at cost first, and we just wouldn't be able to touch it.
Yeah. That's the thing about the Tittman is it's entirely mechanical. So you
Yep.
have that system, and then you bring it into a community of people that have such a routine understanding of how SMPs work, how HPA works, using batteries, LiPos, FCUs, making that all function, and then you're taking this replica system that's coming in, and it's completely mechanical that kind of throws things off a little bit. It'll take a little bit of time for people to really fully warm up to how popular it is. But the amount of people that have used it, and they're just absolutely in love with it.
The thing is you just can't expect hilarious performance out of it.
Yeah.
Like, you can't sit there and go, I want this to shoot as far as my Polar Star. That ain't gonna happen.
Yeah.
But what you can go, it's like, I want to have a ball. And then it will deliver that in spades.
Yeah.
Jason Bolanos, do you have any information on when Tippmann might be releasing a new model? No clue, although they have done several revisions of the model that's out now. So like if you check your serial numbers, you can go online and find like resources, and they have like different serial number badges where you can see that you got upgrade parts and stuff like that.
They should be into the 4,000s now.
They should be like 4,000 to 5,000 by now, I think.
Yeah.
Double or nothing. Hey guys, love the vids. Keep on going. Thank you, sir. My Kwahan question is getting a Tippmann soon and was wondering if my SLP tank and reg would work. If not, that would be what would be good but adorable option. Hashtag
Adorable.
OD operator.
You could draw a smiley face on your tank.
All right, so let's just take this from the top. SLP. No, see, the Tippmann runs at full HPA and CO2 pressures.
So 8 to 900.
So like anywhere from like 800 up to like, it'll also run at SHP pressure, which is 1100 PSI.
Oh.
So anywhere from 800 to 1100 PSI. An SLP tank max outputs at 300, which is not enough to cycle everything. So the SLP is just not going to work.
Yeah.
So that'd be your big thing, is you got to get an output pressure tank of 800, which is a standard tank. And then basically, yeah, just get a standard tank and the Ninja whip with slide check. That'd be what you need. That'd be perfect. So there's all of our Tippmann questions as of late. So like I said, this new way makes sure everybody gets all that stuff done. They've all been answered. Continue on, sir.
Greenface Airsoft says, "Hi, Amped Airsoft. I forgot to ask some things that anyone never asked before, parentheses, I think at least in this series. Number 1, I'm thinking about starting Airsoft business. How can and from where I get my stock of guns and goodies with better price? Wholesale. Number 2, generally, how much a seller should order to be considered as a wholesale order? And how much less in rough percentage price can we get compared to retail price? And 3, in your opinion, where should I order from? From a great store like The Greatest Ones or the distributor? I sincerely love to what Numerex and or VFC did to Airsoft." Sorry if this is an inappropriate questions, but I think I'll just ask because you all seem like you're a bunch of big-hearted, good person. Thanks for what you all do for the good of the game and our community.
Starting your own airsoft business, the biggest thing is to realize that everything's map priced to protect small businesses from larger ones.
Yep.
And so that helps out a lot as a small business as well. E-Bike and like other big companies and stuff like that, we probably have to bleep that out now, I'm sorry. But the big companies, what they do is they aggressively price and coupon code things to break map pricing, which is very not good. And they try to use their buying power because they have so much more money to play with to buy things in huge bulk so their profit margins are better so that they can undercut their competitors. Overall though, when it comes to like buying stuff, you just have to make a decision for yourself on where to get your stuff. I mean, when this store first started, we bought stuff from some of our bigger competitors just because we needed a place to source stuff. But then as we've gotten bigger and bigger, we've been able to source our own stuff. We've also been able to take like people who rebrand products. We've been able to find their OEMs, buy stuff for a better price, and sell it to a better price for our customers than the stuff that's being rebranded. After a while, you got to make a decision on where your cutoff point is where you buy stuff and where you don't. As for pricing, like it's all map priced for the most part to protect small businesses, so your pricing's pretty much set for you.
Yeah.
So what your determining factor is where you get it from so that you can get the highest profit margin out of your stuff. Most of it's not the greatest. Most airsoft stuff doesn't have the greatest margin, which is why you don't see a lot of sales, especially with small stores. Like we can't run sales all the time in coupon codes just because the profit margins are really thin for small businesses because we don't have the buying power to like just go, I feel like doing $60,000 of Elite Force guns today.
Yeah.
We're like, nope, can't do that. Can't do that. We'd have to fire like 3 employees to do that.
Yeah. Other thing with starting a business is, especially, you need to have a physical address. It can't be the back of your car. It can't be your garage. It doesn't necessarily have to be a storefront, but it actually has to be a business location. There's a lot of places when you fill out wholesale paperwork and stuff, they need
business
somewhere.
licenses.
Business licenses.
Ooh, that's
biggie.
That's whole dependent on where you're from, because like in America, as I think the last question we read from him, he was from overseas, from like London or England or somewhere in the British Isles, and like like here, like there's all kinds of loopholes and laws and all kinds of crazy stuff for starting your own business, and that comes from everything from service industry stuff like photography and like restaurants all the way up through.
We get a lot of people who claim they're wholesalers or an airsoft store, and it's literally some dude
who just
wants to get stuff at discount for his team and sells it out of his car, the excess stuff. So it can get a little cloudy sometimes.
Yeah.
It's my turn, isn't it?
It's a hard question to answer.
Yeah.
You know, the biggest thing is just
Multi-pack.
to, you know, do some searching, because it all depends on really your audience, like who you're trying to sell to, what they do in their area, especially for airsoft. Because like say around here, we have a mix of field guns and stuff because we go out to NatOps, and we have a lot of CQB oriented guns because we have 2 CQB facilities in this area that compete against each other. And so the thing is like we have to have CQB guns because of that audience. Like we just have to, especially for our walk-in store. Like we just got to do it. So.
Alrighty, this question pack has to do with
Combo plaque.
Rate of fire, rounds per second for a lot of guns. First one's from Pierce88. Hey guys, was wondering what your thoughts are on game pod requiring a 25 rounds per second lock on HPA guns.
What do you? We'll just go like piece by piece. So what do you think on a rounds per second lock?
I don't know. For me, I always just run semi-only. So
Yeah.
it's
I mean, all of us do. We pretty much
yeah.
almost all the places we play at locally require semi-auto only.
Yeah.
But my big thing is I like all of my guns to shoot realistic rates of fire.
Yeah. Instead of
Yeah, so all the shop guns are tuned to like 16 to 20 rounds a second.
Yeah, somewhere in there, like the realistic rate of fire of an M4.
Yeah.
7 to 900 rounds a minute, depending.
Yeah.
Like, you know, when it comes to rate of fire limitations, though, I mean, that's just a product of the field and their customers.
Yeah.
So if people are abusing rate of fires, then obviously they're going to limit it to
Yeah.
keep their customer base strong. It's just, that's a product of the player base. I'm
I've
sorry.
seen places with semi-auto only rules where people abuse semi-auto to where
Yeah.
it's heinous, and I've seen places with no semi-auto only where people people use full auto burst just fine and there's no problems.
Exactly.
It all
It's a product
depends-
of your environment.
Yeah, it all depends on that.
Yeah.
NEPA Airsoft also has one. High rate of fire guns, either AEGs or HPA guns. I can appreciate if someone can tech their gun to that point that it can shoot, 35 plus rounds per second, but is it needed for airsoft? I definitely agree with you. It is, especially on an AEG when it's a lot of metal moving parts and things that have to synchronize together. If somebody can tech a gun like that, that is awesome.
That's A+.
But again, I don't think it is needed for some things. It's where you play, the type of people that play there. It's, do you really need to put 40 rounds into one dude's chest in the span of like 2 seconds?
Like I said, we all play semi-auto only.
Yeah.
Okay.
Even at full auto games, I play semi-auto
No, I
only.
could see at least the suppression utilization of 35
I mean, I
rounds per
could.
second.
Yeah.
Not even necessary, but I could see if you
I guess
were
my
running,
thing is like this. When it comes to limiting rate of fire, I don't mind you shooting a high rate of fire, but the moment you cross the threshold of becoming a dick bag, then
Yeah.
I mind.
It's the attitude that's behind a lot of guns that shoot that way.
Yeah.
If somebody just does that to like, hey, I did this, and you want to show it off, like, that's awesome, dude.
Like, oh, okay.
As long as you don't use that, maliciously against people.
And that's something we at Airsoft actively try to fight
Yeah.
with every way that we can without crossing that line.
Mhm.
Is if we could make every camo, every piece of equipment, every gun, every replica, every BB, every
Yep.
piece of equipment that we sell a level playing field to help with the attitudes of the players and the environments that we sell
Brilliantly
stuff and
put.
work with,
Yeah.
Brilliantly
we
put.
would do it.
Yeah.
We would do it. Yeah.
But we can't.
Like I said, we go to NatOps purposely because we all have a lot of really high-end tuned guns. We go there with semi-auto only just so that we don't piss people off.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Like just because like my gun already shoots like 300 feet.
yeah.
Like
Yeah,
I
I only need to put 2 rounds into a guy, not 12.
click, click, and I'm
Yeah.
done. Like
Yeah.
that's it. Just 2
Yeah.
little,
Yeah.
maybe
Yeah.
3 if he just kind of looks at me funny.
Yeah.
Like I give a third one just to let him know he got hit.
Yeah.
Like that's it.
Yeah.
Like I just
And then the last one in this, AFK Gaming, he's got a slightly different twist on it. Hey, listen. Well, say please. I was playing in an indoor arena,
Please don't
laying
hate.
down heavy suppressive fire,
Very
holding a
visually,
good group of
pleasantly.
people back. Group decided to take the risk, and they pushed up. That's what you gotta do, war of attrition. They ran straight through his line of fire, and not a single one of them was hit. He watched as every BB missed, not due to bad aim, but due to a slow rate of fire. What would you guys recommend to increase the rate of fire and trigger sensitivity on my gun? The gun is an MP5, thanks, and please don't forget to mess up for the lulls.
trigger set. First things first.
Well, if you're trying to do suppressive fire with an MP5, a little
Well,
iffy.
I mean it's a BB gun, so it doesn't really matter.
Well, he
what
said
the-
he's at an indoor place, so it probably wasn't that
My
big of a
thing is the
problem.
first thing you need to do for upping your trigger response after you pull the trigger as well as your rate of fire Easiest is to get a higher voltage battery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Step one.
It depends on what you're running. Like if you're running like an 8.4 stick or something, even a 9.6 will help a little bit.
And the other thing is you have to get used to your gun, especially in AUG.
That
Like
cycle.
a lot of dudes, it has to make a complete cycle.
Yeah.
So even though you pull the trigger, there's a couple microseconds after you release the trigger that the gun still has to cycle. So a lot of dudes just spam the trigger on AEGs and stuff, and they can lock
don't-
up, or it doesn't
they
get
don't
complete
time it
cycles.
right.
Yeah.
And then that's what it sounds like he's talking about. Because if it's a semi-auto place and he's like trying to spam the
Yeah,
trigger,
he's trying to do that.
Yeah.
he's not timing that cycle up, which
Yeah.
kind of sucks. That's hard to do. It's
Yeah.
hard to get good at doing that.
If you're already running a 9.6, try up to a 7.4.
Or an
Try-
If
11.1.
you're comfortable, try an 11.1.
Yeah.
Otherwise, go for low resistance wiring, Dean's connectors, or large JST connectors.
Yeah.
Unless you want to run small ones, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
A better motor, a more
Yeah.
torquier motor will help you
Get
speed
that-
up your trigger response.
Get that
Yeah.
system of Magnum.
Get that Magnum, them OG Magnum grinds.
Era.
Stuff like that, but that's later down the road. Higher speed gears, stuff like that. But first things first, just try a battery. I mean,
Yeah,
you'd be surprised
just
what a
try
battery can
slightly
do.
Hotter
Yeah.
battery.
Be careful, especially if you're using like an 11.1. Be aware.
Yeah, don't YOLO blaze that.
Don't blaze opposite, because you might be much sad panda.
Hashtag Google search.
Very not Kwai.
Not quite faded. Let's see here.
TKL.
LTK GoPro.
Nice.
Okay.
Man, I'm really sorry.
Is
I
he
don't know
got the
what.
GoPro? It's-
I really don't even
just
know
go.
what that's supposed to mean. Hey, Amp, love the show. Thank you, sir. What was the worst airsoft injury you have ever seen, and what outdoor fields are there around Pittsburgh area? We'll just do that real quick. Outdoor areas around Pittsburgh, you go to Mercer Airsoft Center up north. Mercer, it's about an hour and some change drive.
Hour and a half.
You could go to TRP at the end of every month.
It's a little
Cranberry.
west
Around
of the
Cranberry.
city. Yeah, or northwest.
Northwest, yes. It's northwest.
Learn to compass.
And that's about it right now. Worst airsoft injury I've ever seen personally. I've seen a lot of heat cats. I've seen a lot of heat casualties.
Almost every game during the summer.
Yeah.
That's bad.
I've seen a lot of those. I personally have a BB still embedded in my chin or in my cheek, right here. You can feel it; it's still in there because I'm too poor for cosmetic surgery to have it removed.
One of those glass 2.7s.
It's one of those glass BioVault 2.7s just floating in my face, like right there. So
least
if you're
you
at an event and you're curious and morbidly curious, I'll let you
Yeah,
poke
come
my face.
touch Anthony's
Come touch my
face.
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 I've eaten a BB before. A guy, I was being a squad leader and being a tryhard and screaming, and a guy shot at me, and I had my mouth open, it hit the back of my throat, and I went, and I swallowed it. It came out a few days later. I confirmed it.
Yep.
But I swallowed a BB
Are
before.
we confirming things now?
Yep.
Oh, I need to
Hey,
make sure.
You gotta confirm your kills.
What
Yeah.
about you? Worst thing you've ever seen?
Probably the two worst ones I've seen were both at Hidden Springs, Valley Ranch.
Yeah, I've seen a lot.
Blind Fury.
A lot of horrible shit happened
They were
there.
they were both leg injuries. They were a couple years apart, and sadly, they were both guys on my team. The first year was my buddy B-Nag. He basically broke his ankle at the end of the game on Saturday, but he's an extreme tryhard, so he ended up leaning against a tree and wiped out like an entire squad of green guys,
Oh,
which was
damn.
on like the main path leading down. He just
Damn.
leaned against a tree, and they finally got him. His ankle is disgustingly
Oh, I don't wanna
broken
think
and
about that.
bulging.
Logan Arnold's
Ew.
Yeah.
destroyed ankle was funny.
And then a couple years later, another one of the guys on my team, we were outnumbered, and our guys all started getting picked off. The green guys actually started coming down on us from the top of a hill, so we were just running down the hill using gravity. And there was a fallen tree, and it split into a Y. One of my buddies, for some reason, didn't know to step on the log and hop over. His leg went in between. Well, his leg stopped, and his body kept going. So about midway shin, he didn't break it somehow, but his leg stopped, and he bent over the tree.
Oh, okay, we're done.
Nothing broke,
Oh.
but he actually still has a visible lump on his shin, so he got really close to breaking
Oh, so he
something.
had scar tissue that
Yeah.
solidified into bone.
It was
Ooh,
nasty.
That's
He
close.
was
That's
That's
down.
like right at the point of
That's
breaking.
disgusting.
Ugh.
If he'd been going like 2 miles an hour faster, he'd be like,
That's
bone sticking out.
disgusting.
It was
done.
ugh.
Done.
He
I
had a
s-
really nasty scream too.
I saw a guy eat shit downstairs once, and he had one of those
Ooh.
bumps on
Ew.
with a GoPro. And what happened is the GoPro joint was loose.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, so
just
just
loose.
like-
So what happens is just like
The camera smacked him in the face.
he caught the floor with the GoPro, so he was just eating shit, and he was all.
I forgot about
The thing
that
is,
one.
he was one of those guys. It was at Mercer. It was a really long time ago. He was one of those guys that went downstairs with his gun up like this.
Mhm.
And the thing is, so
yeah.
he had nothing to catch himself with besides the
His
front
face.
of his face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he just and his bump kind of went like as soon as he hit the ground, but he caught the top lip of the GoPro, so it just smashed the GoPro. And it's not funny, but it kind of
It kind of is.
It just smashed.
He's okay
the GoPro
now,
with the
it's
rest of it.
funny.
And he was just out. Like, you know, like a Halo 3 ragdoll death out, just like like done. Like I almost heard the.
I've seen a bunch of dudes get knocked the fuck out by things before.
Yeah.
I've seen a dude one time get knocked the fuck out because a dude was like shooting a 240, and like he was like, "Brrr," and then the guy's like, we need to move, and a dude was getting ready to run past him, and he picked it up, and he hit the dude like in the forehead, and the dude just went, whoop, boom, and it was just out. Everyone was just like, like that was
man.
funny. I've seen so many injuries. I've seen so many injuries. They're
When you've been playing for a decade, you kind of
I don't
forget how
trust-
many times people hurt themselves.
I don't trust M203 shells for
I
a
can't-
goddamn second. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, I don't.
I've blown myself up with one before.
I can't tell you how many butt stocks I've seen smashed in the faces.
Yeah.
Yep.
Especially like the knee kick and teeth and noses.
Ugh. Whose question is it?
Mine.
Stu, yeah, go for it.
Here, hit me that so we don't knock it backwards into the river.
Spread our amp knowledge into the Three Rivers. Charles Taylor asks, "Hey guys, love the vids. Had a blast playing with you guys at OpX using recycling cans as cover.
That was
remember
pretty
that.
very funny.
My first question is A&K M249 hop-up fix? Question mark. What would you guys recommend? Also, I have a
After that.
VFC 416 AEG. Intermittently, the trigger will lock up on single. After a full auto burst, it will begin to work again. What do you think would cause that? That's a very common AEG problem.
That's
Flip it to auto, switch it to semi, and it still works again. I believe
Yeah.
that's a reverse switch problem.
It could be. It also
or is
could
it-
be that you're short stroking it and it's locking because you're
It's a
shooting
very
too fast.
There's nothing. Let's put it this way.
You're-
There's nothing wrong with your 416 that isn't a very common symptom of a
Yeah.
healthily functioning AEG.
That's just
Yeah,
an
basically you just slow
That
your spam
AEG
trigger
life.
down a hair.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you're not letting it fully cycle, then it's getting
Basically,
caught like 3/4 of the way
practice
back.
this. Literally practice this. Full press of the trigger.
Yeah,
Full
release.
press of the trigger. Get used to pressing completely when you pull the trigger, and then
Yeah.
you can work on your fire response.
a higher voltage battery will help that
That will also help that
because
too.
it'll
yeah.
help your cycle rate up for
Yeah.
the internals.
Basically, what's happening is for the full revelations. I'm daydreaming. For the
Favorite
full
game?
revolution. Yeah, seriously.
still my favorite game.
Seriously.
Sorry.
Every
other
time you
event
press the
organizers.
trigger, with the way the gears spin with the anti-reversal latch will stop the tension in the spring from pulling back the cylinder. It's just going whenever time you pull the trigger. So if you're short stroking
That's
that
the sound
trigger, every time you pull the trigger, if you short stroke it, it's stopping that from actually allowing the revolution to complete itself. That's
you're
why
starting it
it's locking
again.
up. Yeah, exactly. That's why it's locking up.
Also, the A&K M249, they I have seen on the internets from like Red Wolf and stuff, which we can get them in through overseas suppliers. But in all honesty,
Is
if
there
you
like
can if you can put together a really big order, like save some money overseas,
Yeah.
like do it like that. But I have seen CNC machined CA/Echo 1/A&K style hop ups for like saws. I've
Pro
seen them.
doesn't have one, do they?
Pro one does not have one yet.
No, I wouldn't worry about that one just yet.
Yeah.
All right, so 5-minute frenzy. We're doing it. You got the clock?
No. Is your phone gonna live for 5 minutes?
Yeah, it's gonna live for 5 minutes. I just have a
5
really
minutes
heinous
exact.
alarm set
Whoa,
up.
what the?
It's okay.
Okay.
And go.
All right, James German. Hey guys, quick question. How do I get a new trigger board for my P-Star? I cannot tell what trigger board I need. How can you tell the version 2 and version 3 P-Stars apart? Well, if it's a version 2 and a version 3 P-Star, let's go on our website. We got them all. That says like version 3 for like AK trigger board, and
Yeah.
it says version 2, and it also says Gen 2 and Gen 3 for the
Yeah.
for the
We have pictures and
V2.
stuff.
It's got pictures and stuff that I took, and we put them up there. It's fine.
Message to Facebook. if
Message
that
our
doesn't work.
Facebook if you can't find it. Owen Lusk, what's up with Amped? What's the word that you guys say that
Always
is
bleeped out.
always bleeped out with the bird call? Well, if we told
That's
you,
a
then we'd have to.
plethora.
How about this? We'll do it so that way Matt has to do editing work.
No, it's- yeah.
Shut up.
Xander
Have fun
Airsoft.
with that.
We're fucking up my 5-minute frenzy. I just bought an ENL AK-74MN a 106 from you guys. It actually on pre-order. What kind of brand battery would you guys recommend? This is from Xander Airsoft. LiPo.
Tenergy
Tenergy
9.6.
LiPo.
Tenergy 9.6.
9.6.
The thing is,
7.4.
you're going to have a really hard time fitting that in there, so I'd recommend just going LiPos altogether.
Yeah.
Get a 7.4 mini
The
LiPo.
Hobby 5. I agree. Hey guys, do you sell or are there any tournament locks for your SLP regulators? Actually, all of our SLP regulators have pre-drilled caps that you can just zip tie them on. You don't even need to buy a tourney lock. We got that. Team Badger Airsoft, love the show. What are the advantages of upgrading the spring guide, if any? I wouldn't do it. A Sorlin 1, Amped Airsoft. Do Vulcan V12 give off same performance as in Polar Star, or Polar Star is the best? Vulcan V12. Lol. Some flex. Does SPS matter? No, FPS does not matter. SPF.
Sun protection level.
Because a TMM14 is still the best shooting stock gun I've ever seen, and they max out at 280.
Yeah.
So, Mitchell Town. Hey guys, great show. What are your opinions on the KJW KCO2 Tactical 22? Thanks and keep up the great. I think those things are awesome, and
awesome.
they shoot
Use
great.
it.
They're hilarious.
They're hilarious. Jacob Diego, hashtag posters make them trip acid. Oh, you noticed the posters I looted. That was last time.
We bought those.
Ty Bullock, Cad Pat, shout out. Yes, the legit issued stuff is pretty hard to get in Canada. It is kind of illegal to have, but some of us have it. The arid version issued to troops in A-stand is even more rare.
Seymour.
Well, I have a sentence to talk about that in a second when we get around to it. Steamed Rice 123. The next time to go to a game where the staff claims to have the realistic milsim, I'm putting on my sham shield and taking a nap at the back of a 5-ton. Brilliant, sir. Meow Mix is my buddy. Steamed Rice 123. Sup, boys? Tips Fedora. Student, I needs Gorka. Where can I has Gorka? Also, have any of you ever had to deal with too many cooks? Gorka. Well, we're gonna be putting together a whole big order for all kinds of cool stuff. So actually, you can probably get that from us, man. Thomas Schaefer. Hey guys, since all airsoft guns are 6mm, so the real caliber of the gun doesn't matter. But we need more 7.62 style platforms like the AR-10s and stuff like that. Just to throw out some love for the 7.62 guys. Love the show. Hashtag box operator. Hashtag American quickscopes. I love 308 guns because I think they look mean and cool.
M14 for life.
M14 for life.
Milsim West actually has rules that allow them to chrono hire and be DMRs, which is actually pretty awesome if it's a 308. It's actually easier to get a 308 gun in there as a DMR than it is as 5.56. It's actually pretty cool.
Just do it!
Hunter Asian. First off, I have two questions. If I get the Wolverine S&P, can I put a speed tunable trigger on it and still get a little bit better trigger pull? You could. I wouldn't recommend it. Most of the drop-in systems, like the jack and all that stuff, they have a really small trigger button, and people who don't do those right just wreck them off of it. So it's dangerous. Can you do it? Yes. Do I think it's worth it? No. Jack24, hey guys, what do you think of the VFC MP7 gas blowback? Because I'm thinking to buy one. Keep up the great work. I think they're sweet. I love that they're 1-to-1 in size.
Yeah.
I like them a lot.
A lot bigger.
I haven't gotten to shoot one though, so I can't really other than some little test planking around the shop, I haven't gotten to use one. So
They're pretty great. I've shot one. Just make sure you lube it out of the box.
Yeah, you gotta lube it.
It's made out of more polymer than the other brands are.
Sinful Poison, what's your opinion on Miracle Barrels? Hashtag jet fuel can melt steel beams. I like Miracle Barrels. The Kool-Aid though, about how awesome they are, I think is a little overplayed. But are they solid? Yes. I think they're incredibly solid. I don't think they're magic,
price.
but we'll get one more in because I only got 20 seconds left. BDB, like your channel, but I really like it if you talk more or at all about gas blowbacks. I really can't stand AGs or HPA. I own my only gas blowback, so like a WeScar, a WM14, and a KSC MP9. All right, here's my deal about gas blowbacks. The reason we don't talk more about them literally is because it's a product of our audience. Our audience, oh dude, just fucking turn that off. It's a product of our audience. So our audience wants to know about AEGs and Polar Stars because that's what's the most common. So that's what we talk about. Do I dislike gas blowbacks? No.
I love them.
Sometimes it seems a little biased, I know, because it's really hard to find great gas blowbacks that function really well. But I mean, at the end of the day, it just comes down to what our audience wants. So would I talk more about gas blowbacks? Yes. Another problem is that there's not a lot of them out there that I feel perform as well as they should for the cost.
There are plenty, but there's another thing that you have to take into account with gas blowbacks, whether it's a jabibber or a jabibpa, is that quite frankly they require maintenance.
A lot of maintenance.
You don't have to be like an armorer. You just have to know what you're doing. And quite frankly, most of the people in the airsoft community, if you present them with that challenge of saying this will be great if you take care of it, they'd rather do an AEG. That's just simple as that.
It's a product of our audience, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do I hate gas blowbacks? No, I like them.
I love 'em.
I like what they represent in reality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I dislike cost.
If I could run a gas blowback AK, totally would. Totally do it.
I dislike cost, and I don't mind maintenance because I'm used to real firearms, but I hate the fact that they need to be maintained more than a real firearm.
But for the
Yeah.
seriously.
That's what it is. That's it. It's nothing personal against them.
With about maybe less than half of the longevity of a real
Yeah,
firearm.
maybe.
My bolt snapped in half.
What's that 50-something-year-old M16 we found on the internet today that's still shooting in Cambodia?
Yep.
Yeah.
Whoop.
Yeah,
Looks like they pulled it out of a mud puddle.
yeah. All the finishes off, but it's
All right. This is from Phase Havoc. Looks like we got a Polar Star.
XM16E1.
Are you
Polar Star
serious?
everything question.
Like a pro.
Nancy's.
Call me Nancy.
Hey, Amped. Do you have to have sand on it? No. My Polar Star V2 Gen 2
Nature.
seems to leak for about
Pocket
2 to 3
sand.
seconds when I first connect the air, then it stops. Every time I connect it and detach the air afterwards, it's fine. I have stripped the Polar Star completely and checked all over O-rings, replaced macro line, and it still leaks for a couple seconds when he first connects it. It's almost like the air is sealing a hole with its own pressure. Any ideas what this could be? And do the O-rings on the solenoids need Tech T lube? Thank you.
A little bit. First of all, yeah, lube those O-rings first to see if it. I've gone through dozens of problems with my fusion engine, so I got you, boo.
The lemon
the
fusion
one
engine.
lemon fusion engine belongs to me. The only one apparently. Here's the deal. So yeah, you're gonna need to lubricate those. You're not gonna need a lot, but you need to lubricate those O-rings. Start there first, and if it doesn't leak after that, you're good. If not, it's definitely a problem with your solenoids. What it is that they're not broken. They're just full of crap. They're probably just full of dirt and stuff. And
You're not getting complete cycles.
So if you don't have anybody around you that's competent enough to take them apart, because it's really scary to take those apart, because I've done it. It's really scary to take those apart because you have to make a tool for it. And then if you take it apart and you mess up one little piece, the whole thing's done anyways. So simplicity's sake, you could just buy new ones and put those in and you should be good to go. But if you have an older Gen fusion engine like you have a V2 or a Gen 2 like I do, the solenoids are different. So now you're going to have to run all your barrel setups and stuff different because they're going to have an operating pressure of 80 to 200 PSI instead of the 0 to 120s that we're used to having. So you're going to have to run your fusion engine at a higher PSI to make sure that it functions, which means you're going to have to change barrel setups, nozzles, and crap like that, which is kind of a pain in the fucking ass. Let's just be fucking square. Because if you already bought all this shit, you're just like, oh, why?
Start over.
Ugh, grumpy. So,
Pressure.
yeah, man, it's probably just your solenoids, either the O-rings around them or the actual solenoids themselves.
My water bottle is safe now. He won't bled to death.
He got Purple Heart from awards in Army.
Oh my
Look,
God.
mother, my awards.
Director Clint Eastwood.
Director Clint Eastwood. All right, this one is from, I got a combo platter here from Hoffinator7 and Nick M. This one is in two parts. Number one, what do you guys think about filling HPA tanks with a high-pressure air pump like a Benjamin pump for PCP air guns? I know it would take a while, but at least it's something you can do at home or if you're out in the middle of nowhere. Number two, with the idea of filling your own tanks, what are your opinions on hydro testing? Since airsoft fields typically don't check for them, which they should.
Yeah.
Oh, you should. Although people who fill them should check, thank you. If I'm correct, they test them almost twice the standard pressure. Assuming I inspect my own tanks for damage and leaks and fill them myself, could I safely use it out of hydro? You could, but I would not recommend it. Because here's the thing. I could say that you could, but if you hurt yourself, I'm going to feel like an asshole. So I'm going to be real honest with you. Just pay the $35, go to a scuba shop or a paintball shop, get it hydro tested for your own safety and the safety of the people around you.
Mm-hmm.
Can you fill your pumps up with air? Can you do air pumps? I've heard of people doing it all the time. You're going to be there all day. Like, I have a tire pump for my bike at home that has a one-way valve only, so it can fill those tanks too, and I've done it before.
If you really want to do
How long
it,
did it take?
It was abysmal.
Where'd you get it to?
I gave up at 2,800 because I was right. It got so hard, I was like, fuck this, I'm done.
Netflix.
Like, you're gonna watch the entire season. You're gonna watch entire seasons
Breaking
of shows.
Bad. Just do it.
You'll burn through the entire third season of Friends, don't worry. I've
All right,
done
this
it.
one's from Nick M. My team and I are thinking of getting a high-pressure air pump to fill our tanks during ops instead of getting them filled at amped. Oh, well,
Hey.
we like you.
Yay.
All right, whatever.
Nah,
That's
be that
fine
way.
if that's what you want to do, man.
Bike
We want to be able to play longer without the worries of running out of air. What are your opinions on this? Like I said, you can do it. Hashtag stop paying Anthony's bills 20K 15.
Oh.
Ow, man,
Damn.
that hurts my sadness a little. Hashtag Jack24 has
A new rival.
Hashtag too many questions for you. Hashtag JK
just give
Anthony
up.
is too operator for me. Hashtag give him money so he can cause more butthurt. Hashtag I was not butthurt until the Fire Nation attacked. Wow, dude, your hashtag game is way too strong for this. Next time I'm gonna pick like 2 of them, just read those and be done.
3 hashtag 5.
That shit heinous.
But yeah, like I said, you can hand pump it. You'll hate it, but you can do it.
It's a half and it's a
You can do it.
Bob's Burgers has season 4, so go for
Like
it.
Anthony's favorite show.
I hate that show
You
already.
don't like Bob's Burgers?
I watched like 20
He
minutes.
doesn't
of,
understand it.
No, I just was like, why is this funny? Like I just sat there and was like, why is this funny, Matt? And he's like,
show.
and I'm like, I was like, can
Do
you turn
like
it off?
Matt?
Like,
Do you like it, Matt?
I love that show.
I think it's hilarious.
I was like, can you turn this off?
All right,
And he's
all
like,
right,
okay.
all right.
It's too
Combo
old.
platter.
Combo.
Ian Hollinger asks, I was trying start over. I was
Go
trying
ahead,
to
Dudek.
order a varied group of parts for my 2 Gen 3 engines, and I was doing so. I noticed that no single site carried all the parts I needed. One had the little UAR mount I wanted, another had the Gen 3 V2 trigger board, and another had the Gen 3 wire harness, but no site had all the parts I needed. I was able to get most locally. It pays to have friends and teammates with the same guns, so problem temporarily averted. But in the future, is there a way I can special order parts so I don't make 3 separate orders and get hosed on shipping?
We generally have all those parts.
Yeah.
Now, it just depends on when Polar Star gets our orders to us, when we can order them, when they're back in stock, but typically we carry all of that stuff. Like, we carry everything. Like,
Yeah.
Okay. And then next question by the same guy, Ian Hollinger. I have a red nozzle and I'm going to get a flow pop it, shim it, and get the lightning banjo. I have an R-hopped Miracle Barrel and Pro Win hop up if it matters. Are there any other things I can do to increase air efficiency on my Polar Star? I saw a pop it shim video that said mechanical tolerances can change what shim you need, etc. Any way to find the right shim for my engine without reassembling the engine a bunch of times? I've heard red and I've heard gold pop it. Which one will actually increase efficiency without knocking performance? Thanks for all you do, guys. Hashtag Iowa Assassins. Hashtag Untrained Civilian Goofball. Hashtag Banana Pants are cool. Hashtag Hose Guns for Life. Hashtag Coalition of the Willing.
I like that one.
So, hose guns for life. Both of your poppets knock your performance down. That's just the name of the game. If you're trying to save air, you're not going to output as much, which means it's going to bring you down. That's why you got to counteract that with a high-end nozzle like a red, either a red, a silver, or a purple, depending on your setup that you're trying to run. But yes, they're all going to knock it down. Same thing with poppet shims, going to knock down your performance a little bit. Anything that increases your efficiency, minus the banjo, I believe. Anything that increases your efficiency is going to knock down your output of air for your performance. It's just something you're going to have to deal with. Type bore barrels also help too. But that's a price you got to pay, man. To get in the door, man. You got to do it.
Yeah.
Unless you just don't care and you want to buy a pump.
Just everybody with a pump on your back the whole time.
Someone come back and get me in 4 hours. I'm gonna pump 500 psi into my tank.
For air stocks, that probably won't be too shabby.
If only there was a way that, like,
Okay.
I'd make like an air pump bicycle.
You just sit there and be like,
No, like you drive to you ride your bicycle to work every day, but it also
Oh my
pumps the
God.
air into the.
My mouse is just hooking up to the fucking
Bleep
belt
that
of my
all
car.
out. Patent pending. Bleep it all out. Patent pending.
I'm not.
I'm not.
Caffeinated 3. Yo, dudes. So I'm a left-handed shooter, but I use my right eye. I've tried to shoot my right hand, and I find it extremely hard because I wind up holding my head above the stock in a very funny and awkward fashion. Can I have some advice on this? Also, Stu is the best because hashtag motherland.
Yeah.
I'll leave real steel dude to answer that
from the
one.
military, we run into this problem all the time when
Hashtag real.
you're right eye dominant, but you're left-handed.
Yeah.
Or vice versa. You want to know what the real solution is? It's called learn to shoot with the other hand, because there is no easy solution for that. There literally is zero.
So he's gonna have to learn right-handed?
He's just gonna have to learn to shoot right-handed, man. My wife's the same way, and when I was teaching her how to shoot, I had to teach her how to shoot. My buddy Casey was opposite eye-handed, so I had to teach him how to shoot offhand. Like, that's just how it is, man. There's no easy way around it. It's just called practice.
Yeah.
It sucks. I get it. It's awful even. But
I'd rather tell you to just do something that might be a struggle bus, but it'll still help you just learn in the easier way than
struggle
tell
at
you
the
something like,
beginning.
here's this newfangled thing. Hold your gun at this degrees off right, and then you develop bad habits. So
yeah.
The other thing you kind of taught most of the people at the shop, what was it? You point your thumb at the thing with your
You point your finger or your
forward hand.
thumb.
the bore.
Yeah.
Your finger or your thumb along the bore. That's a whole thing we can talk about right now, actually. So, like, when you're shooting,
It's like it might be what he needs.
it might be one of the things that helps him learn
Yeah.
how to hold it offhanded. So, when you're shooting, especially for point shooting up close, like Airsoft, all of Airsoft is point shooting up close.
Yep.
Even 300 feet is not a far shot for anybody that's trained with a real rifle. So, like, when you're shooting, one of the things you can do to help yourself is when you hold your weapon, whether you're holding it like this, or you're holding it with a vert grip, or something like that, is to point a finger along the bore of the gun. And what this will do is, if you're not good at point shooting, what this will do is, your entire life, when you want something, you've been going, oh, microphone, camera, Stu's head,
Yeah.
Matt's head. And I'm not off, because it's just you've done it so much that you know exactly where all this stuff
Bikers,
is. Helmet.
Subaru.
of all your
Trailer.
years, of all your
Pontiac
years
Masquerades.
of
Just-
right.
I need food, mother, feed it to me. Like, it's just what you develop.
Well, it's because
Yeah,
it's
all
also,
your years of like training your nerves, and you pointed that. I
Well,
know
yeah,
I'm pointing at trailer.
it's because your body literally has a mechanism
Yeah.
that makes you able to sense direction without having to have a full
Exactly.
view of it. If I close my eyes right now, I
Body
can
mechanics
point
101,
right to
man.
my foot without even seeing it, but I know
Oh, yeah, you could,
exactly
dude.
where
That's
it
good.
is.
And he's tracking it. So, like, what you need to do is to teach yourself to shoot, you need to teach yourself that your weapon is an extension of your arms. As soon as you do that, you're going to be a lot more accurate with your quick shooting. And so what we used to do in the Army for, like, up-close shooting and stuff like that for training people, we used to teach them to point along the barrel. Like, if you're holding an M16 or a standard M4 or something like that, point along the barrel so that when you bring it up, it's right on target. You don't even sometimes, if you're really close, you don't even have to get completely behind the sights in order to fire an accurate shot.
Yeah.
You can just do it real quick. So, like, try that when you shoot your goofy hand that you're not used to.
Yeah.
That'll help you train yourself to get better at shooting offhand.
I've seen novices at best at real steel shooting shoot heinous things.
Yeah.
Just learning to point shoot.
Just learning to point shoot.
The other thing is, I think you see a lot of airsofters do this incorrectly because they haven't done real steel, and they don't get the repercussions of like recoil and everything. But a lot of people, they move their head to the gun. You have to move the gun to you. So that may be part of your problem where your head's all like blah 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 that, and it doesn't help. A lot of us have masks and stuff on. One of the things you want to do is learn to where your head is comfortable and you have a clear sight. Move the weapon to that.
Yeah.
That's the easiest way.
Point
to,
shooting, man. Just practice that.
Snap shoot.
And
some
here's
Moz.
the thing too. Start like at your local field if they allow you to do it, or your backyard, or in your garage, or somewhere where it's safe where you can do it. Wear your iPro.
Yeah,
Start
definitely.
up close. Start up real close because it's really hard to get a good accurate shot up close because it's hard to get the gun up fast for an aggressor that's really close to you. Start up close, and then as you can get faster at doing it, make it harder by bumping it out or adding multiple targets.
Yeah.
And then as you do it, like, especially if you start doing it in game, you start training yourself to do it in game, because Airsoft has that lovely ability of always having force on force practice, unlike real steel shooting.
Yeah.
Like, you can't do real steel force on force shooting and have it for training
unless you have breathing problems for the rest of
unless
it.
you actually want to murder somebody. Well, with BB Wars, you can do it all the time. So just do it. Do it like that, man.
Yep.
All right, are we recording?
Yeah, but
All right, so we had to reset the camera. So YOLO, we just pre-pulled a couple, and then we're gonna be on our way. So this one's from Jaden Thomas. Hey guys, I'm about to get a new gun and was wondering what your thoughts are on the Crytek SBR, the Elite Force M27, or should I Polar Star my GMP Magpul M4? I'm looking for a gun with a lot of range, but not going over 410 FPS. Keep up the great work, and thanks for the honest reviews. I think any one of those options are
good.
competitive. Every single one of those is a fine option. If you prefer to stay with AEGs, I'm not gonna push you to do an HPA system.
Yeah.
I'll say that an HPA system shoots incredible, but if that's not your jive, that's just not your jive, man. That's just how it is. Any single one of those would be fine.
Yeah.
Me personally, when I got done with AEG life, I upgraded my GMP M4 into a Polar Star, and I haven't gone back. So that's that sentence. But I will say that after shooting, especially the Crytek SBR, I'm incredibly impressed with how it shoots out of the box. Like, best M4 stock AEG on the market. That's what I'll say.
I think so. There's only like little tiny things. That's probably what you're poking for right there. Little things like the M27. That's gonna be the heaviest of all those.
It's gonna be heavy
by far. That's
Yep.
a heavy gun. It's got a really heavy front end.
A lot of metal.
But if you were down the road to drop a fusion engine in it, fits perfectly out the door, good to go. The main thing you're going to do, since you want to stay at a certain FPS and range, just do a barrel build. It doesn't matter if you do the AEG or you do your Polar Star.
Yeah.
Do a nice, probably tight bore,
Yeah.
and a good hop up, and like a flat hop, or even the Promi Purple.
For me,
Our
honestly,
hop if you know someone
Or
who's
hop
good
if
at
you're,
it.
if you're feeling saucy. Yay! We almost made it. Gotta blow my speakers out. She did make it pretty far before that.
Yeah, I know. And hit that next street really quick. I guess he just said fuck the horn on that street because it crosses one more
You
street.
just hear a crunch.
There's probably a dead dude just sprawled out somewhere.
Oh God.
Alright,
Okay.
The Rust Belt.
remember
Claims
DL.
I was gonna say something, but I fucking forgot. Okay. Okay.
Ah! What do your numbers mean, Mason?
Reznov. All right. Jack24 asks, "Hey Amp, so Polar Star and SMPs can be really quiet with a cream-filled banana. So would it also do something with the sound on a Tippmann M4? Hashtag cream-filled banana. Hashtag Germany makes the best beer."
That should have been in the Tippmann group. Sorry.
Okay, here's the hilarious thing about putting a cream-filled banana on a Tippmann M4. I almost did it. It was close.
Yeah.
So it makes it quieter in front, but it's still just as loud to everybody around you. It actually sounds more realistic
Yeah.
than any of the bananaed HPA guns because it actually sounds like a real bananaed M4, like a real M4 that's been bananaed, which makes it hilarious.
You get the loudness of the action, but then the barrel's quieter.
It's dumb.
it sounds
It's hilarious. It's hilarious.
It
If
sounds
you're
like
the
a
one
whoop,
being
whoop,
shot at,
whoop
you don't
sound.
hear it. But if anybody anywhere else in like the 320 degrees of field around it going, it's still loud.
That's literally what it sounds like. Instead of like the quiet, like the it's more like the sound like of the action.
You hear the spring and the buffer tube still.
Yeah.
It's hilarious.
It's great.
It's fun. But it's hilarious.
Khalid.
If
So-
it makes you feel better, go for it.
Yeah, I'd say do it just for lulz.
Yeah.
So I guess that's it. We're getting ready to wrap up. So now we got our
It's too nice out.
new thing where we do everything
Shout-outs.
for all the shout outs and all those stuff, guys, at the end. So Pat Phoenix, once again, like I said, I see what you're doing there.
I love your name.
Sup Amp, best Q&A on YouTube, hands down.
Thank you.
Real Canadian bacon, quotes, is P-meal bacon. American Canadian bacon isn't authentic Canadian bacon.
Just saying.
Just saying. Hashtag bacon master race. Hashtag 5-minute frenzy.
We apologize.
We
but
apologize
also
for our-
be the change you wish to see in the world. Send us some real Canadian bacon.
Once you get a Bob Evans, let us know.
Canadian Bob Evans.
Right?
They just say
heinous.
sorry constantly, like, oh, I'm so sorry.
Sorry, you
Sorry, I'm sorry, everything was not
Send us
perfect.
Cat Pat, please.
Oh, yeah,
Please,
that's actually for a
please.
Canadian question. I'm gonna be real honest with
We'll
you.
stop making fun of bacon then.
I am on the hunt
Right?
for legit Cad Pad. Mostly arid, but I will also
I'd want
take...
both.
But I do want both.
Yeah.
But I really want arid. I want combat shirts and pants. Okay? Gear? Okay.
Send
But I
me-
probably won't need it. I need uniforms. Internet.
If we're doing
Help
that,
me out.
If we're doing that South African heinousness, help me.
Help me! We're looking for crazy stuff because we usually when we go to events we get asked to run on the crazy team.
Yeah.
And because it's the crazy team, a lot of people don't have like Russian uniforms or and like, you know what? I just want some heinous fuckery. That's what I want.
Yeah.
Like I just
Cat Pat, it works so well.
And that works so well too.
Even with somebody who always runs Russian stuff, if I had a full South African heinous fuckery uniform, I'd run the crap out of it.
Yeah, because
I
it'd be
would rock
awesome.
it. I already have the agile.
Also Swedish, is Swedish
Splinter.
or
Yeah, the Splinter stuff.
the Splinter stuff. I'd love to see some of that too.
Yeah.
I am an American sizes, medium regular tops, and then large. I got a little paunch. Large regular or large long bottom. So
There's
keep
a
that
keg in
mind.
front of the 6-pack.
I'll come up with something if you guys find me cool stuff.
Ozcam,
Yeah.
Ozcam.
Ozcam, also looking for Ozcam. Just holding that out there too. Ozcam. Jacob Diego, OMG. Stu remembers me. Hashtag yes. Well,
Do you, Stu?
I do, I remember.
Okay.
what
You
time?
want me to be the trash bin?
I got it.
Okay.
Airsoft Tom, love these videos. Well, thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
Tip, tip.
Tip, tip, sir. Tip, tip.
cut.
Connor McLean. Nice Sublime and Hendrix posters in the background. He hates them. I'm hanging them back up. I'm gonna glue them to the wall.
Fuzzy.
Furry walls.
I'm gonna pet the furry
Got
wall.
that Jeffrey.
Yeah.
Gotta get on that Jeffrey grind. AFK Gaming, multi-part question. 1. I want to send you guys something in the mail. As thanks for being so awesome. Am I able to send it to the store? This could be a slippery slope, but yes.
If it needs to be X-rayed, no.
Please don't send me anthrax.
Yeah.
B, I think that it would be awesome that while out playing pickup games, if you guys talked with some of the other players and asked them what they are running in terms of guns, gear, etc. for videos. That's actually a really good idea, but the problem is that NatOps are so thick right now in the season, and literally like this last month, it's been at least every weekend or every other weekend we've gone to one.
Yep.
I mean, I know it just sounds like a first world BB Wars problem, like, oh, you get to go to all these NatOps, but like, it's hard to go to local events when we're constantly not local. Like, it happens, man. I would love to do it though. Number 3, or C. I guess he's because he started with 1 and then he went to B and then he went 3 or C. Are there any local events around Pittsburgh that you guys would recommend going to? Also, check out Operation Plague on YouTube's. Love the videos and mess up for the lulz. Local games around Pittsburgh. There's a lot of what's called the Milsim Light series up in Mercer. That some people go to and really love. There's also, like I was said in the previous question, there's TRP. So there's
your buddy
those.
Bert also has Night Archer in Mercer.
My buddy on my team, Bert, he does the Night Raven games.
Night Raven. Why did I say Night Archer?
Because there used to be Night Archer games as well.
Hashtag fuck you, Miyagi.
Hashtag shade, bitten throne.
Say bitten throne.
Yeah, I stumbled. Just let me fucking go, man. Just let me go.
I liked it. It worked.
Let me go, man. So just throwing it out there.
Potato mashed out.
Oh, I can't wait to get some of those.
Oh, so fun.
All right,
So yeah, that's the thing. Anyways, so guys, keep up the Coalition of the Willing thing. I want to see more photos show up in our Instagram.
Yep.
When I search that hashtag about cool bros doing cool guy stuff, like make it happen.
We will send you stuff.
I'm just gonna keep yelling at you until you do it.
Just do it! Do it! Just make your dreams come true!
Tomorrow is formed today!
Make your dreams come true! Explosions!
Hashtag LaBuffin' it.
Hashtag LaBouffe.
Just do it.
Just LaBouffe it.
Just
So anyways, make sure you guys keep up on that stuff. Make sure the people who deserve to get attention get it.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm trying to ask for. I just want people who don't suck to finally get attention.
Yep.
Nice guys shouldn't always finish last unless they wear fedoras. Then they need to always finish last. Anyways, thanks for stopping by and checking us out. This has been Anthony.
I don't wear fedoras, Matthew.
Stu.
This has been Ask Amped, episode 31.
Ooh.
Ask the questions down below in the doobly-doo or on Facebook where we post it. Thanks for stopping by, guys.
Pimpin'.
Pittsburgh!
Nature!
Science!